Welcome everyone to Design Builders Buildcast. I am James Moylan, the owner of Design Builders. I'm here with Tim Matkoski, our head of marketing, and Katie Dix with Outdoor Elements.
James, thanks so much. And I am Tim Matkoski, head of marketing for Design Builders. And the goal of this show is to find new products and services that are out there, talk to outdoor companies that are pushing the envelope for outdoor expansion. And we have one such company today with us, Outdoor Elements, a leader in the pergola industry. And we have Katie Dix with us. And Katie, we're so happy to have you here today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me, James and Tim. I'm happy to be here.
Katie, tell us about Outdoor Elements, how it started, where it came from.
Outdoor Elements, it's a kind of a cool story. Our owner and founder, Todd Jackson, had a very successful high-end design build firm for many years that he had started really at the age of 23, and was very successful in the Southern California, San Diego area. And then around 2018-ish, he was approached by a competitor of our now competitor, of a louvered roof pergola system. And he worked with them for a few months, 6-8 months, going into a year, and realized that basically he could build a better mousetrap. So that company was really just sending pieces of powder coated aluminum, which he could purchase himself. So he actually designed our entire system, including a patented lighting system, gutter system, really just the genius behind it. So I'm proud to work there. And to this day, they're continuing to improve. We're always looking at ways to improve our systems, our support for our dealers. And it's an incredible success story to be a part of.
I think that it's one of the things that attracted us to you was the ability to customize these pergolas so much. We had been keeping our eye on various louvered pergola companies over the last few years. But us as design builders, we have to create very custom designs for our clients. And we found that some of the other, some of the other competitors and some of the other products out there were not quite as customizable as is the Outdoor Elements pergola. Was that one of kind of the main goals, to create creativity for designers and architects and create different usability features?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. That was behind it. That and making it easier to assemble in the field. So you're spending less time, less resources in the field. Less time is more money in your pocket. So it's definitely a good, profitable product for all of our dealers.
And I believe we found Outdoor Elements at a show in Las Vegas. Jamie and I were out there, and we went specifically. One of the products we were very interested in was pergolas, and we were frustrated with all the pergolas that were out there, how compartmentalized they were, how you couldn't build what you wanted to build or what the client wanted to build. It was all very boxy, 10 by 10, and just was not what we were looking for. And then we came on Outdoor Elements, and we were pleasantly surprised to see that here was a company that was offering the exact product that our clients were looking for.
We're happy you found us.
I know there's a few different style of pergolas and roof systems. You have your Solace louvered roofs, your signature louvered roofs, the Serenity pergolas, Sky Peak pergolas. Give us just kind of a quick rundown through the various ones and kind of pros and cons to each and some potential uses for each.
Sure, absolutely. We did start with our signature pergola system, it's a motorized louvered roof system. It's an 8-inch louver, and it spans 12 feet within 22 feet between posts. That louver is a single wall louver, which is kind of a standard in the industry. They're not always 8 inches, but that's a standard in the industry, just that single wall louver. That's what we call our signature. And then our Solace we brought on a few years ago, and it's actually a dual wall louver with a cleat in the middle. So it's very strong. It can stand, higher wind loads. It spans 15.6 feet with 22 between posts in that one zone. Of course, multiple zones can be added. very configurable to all the spaces. Um, so that product really shot us up in the market. And then we also have what you said, most of our other competitors or other people in the market do not have is our Sky Peak, which is a 412 pitch roof system that incorporates the motorized louvered system. So you can have a pitched roof that also has the louvers that open. Then we also have, of course, the standard pergola, that's just the regular, it's called Sky View, and just slats at whatever spaced opening you need. So that's also available. And then we have a solid roof system as well, our Serenity, that is IRP, insulated roof paneled system. And that's a closed cell foam that is wrapped in aluminum on both sides. That's available in a white or wood grain tongue and groove look. It has an integrated gutter. It has a gutter surrounding the entire system. So that's really a popular, and you can mix and match all of these systems. So you can have maybe a solid roof over your kitchen area or your lounging area, and then have added on there, a louvered roof system that would open and ventilate. So all of the things are mix and match. As you said, customizable. Can go around fireplaces. We can attach to the wall, to the house, to the soffit, to the roof. It can be freestanding, all of the things. So, but what really sets us apart with our systems is that we offer materials that are sourced in the U.S., aluminum that is sourced in the U.S., which is, of course, sustainable, recyclable, 2x10 beams, which support the top of the system, and that is a leader in the industry for that. Also, 6x6 or 8x8 posts, variety of thicknesses, variety of length, and then of course all of the accessory features. And this really sets us apart from others in the market, where we offer motorized screens, we offer fans, we offer variety of heaters. We also have 10 classic colors that are no extra charge. You can switch up the colors and have the system black possibly, and have the louvers white, and there's no extra charge for that. And then we also have designer colors in 14 selections that you can have for just a very small upcharge. So customizable, absolutely.
Very cool. So just kind of as a recap, the Skyview pergolas, those are just a fixed pergola system without a louver. Is that correct?
That's correct, James.
So that's kind of your most basic setup. It looks like you can still do some lighting and add some other features in there. And then the Serenity, that's a fixed roof system that doesn't have a louver system as well, just providing both shade and help from the weather. And then the
Yes.
Solid Signature and then the Sky Peak, all of those incorporate the louvered system.
That's correct. That's correct. With the two different sizes of louver available, the single wall and the dual wall. And then, of course, our gutter system with the lighting is a patented system. We have down lighting and up lighting that can be white or colored. Everything is controllable on the app. You'll notice that the industry trend is, the more high tech, the better kind of now. So we have moved from a Bluetooth app now to a Wi-Fi app, which is really great. You can control it when you're on vacation. Hey, you're in Florida for the winter and it's going to snow. You need to open those louvers. You can do it right from the app. So, and then incorporating, we can control all the accessory features, fans, heaters, screens, things like that. So we're working on incorporating all of that just in that one app.
That's very cool. That was actually going to be one of my questions on, how you can control these things, and if you're leveraging some technology, which I assumed you did. One other piece that I was thinking about specifically with the louvers and something that you mentioned with like snow and stuff like that. Are there any weather dial type things that you can have it actually change, the setup and configuration based on weather and kind of a microclimate type zone?
There are some, there are sensors that we add. So there are rain sensors and things like that where, but the wind sensor will override the rain sensor, of course, because what you don't want to do is create a sail, in a high wing situation. So there are those sensors that are added and included already integrated in that app.
Very cool.
Yeah.
These things, they're beautiful. There's a lot of options. There's different ways to set them up. How do you see your most successful dealers work in the design process with customers to be able to give them the best insights on what's best for them, different configurations, different setups? How do you see the whole kind of best practice of design for the end user?
Really, the best practice and our most successful dealers start with we have a training program. We have an integrated training program. We have a professional trainer in two regards. We have a product knowledge and we have a custom CRM system that each dealer has their individual login into. And so we offer training right in the beginning when you become a dealer, and we support that training throughout the life of the dealership with our partners, with our dealers. We offer product knowledge training where we walk them through everything that we offer. We have a very good and multifunctional CRM system, I should say, where you're able to log in. We have installation videos, we have the installation guide, we have calls with them prior to, and then we also offer on-site training for any new dealer or really any dealer that feels like they may need, some additional help. We really pride ourselves on customer service. We're available via phone, anytime they're having any kind of question as to how to put this together. So in that regard, we try our most successful dealers take the time to do all of this. Isn't a mandatory training. It should be, but our most successful dealers take the time to really understand the systems in the beginning, and how to quote them. And there are lots and lots of ways to customize and put these together. So our most successful dealers take the time to understand that. And then it's really about advertising as well. So, Instagram, podcasts like these, the whole meta movement of advertising is the great way to go. You have to have an Instagram account. You have to be advertising on here. And we support them with marketing materials. And we also have a marketing program that they can buy into for their own specific areas and zip codes as well. So we really do our best to support the dealers, and the dealers that do the best invest the time into the systems and really get it after it. And I mean, we have multi-million-dollar dealers. We have dealers that have started, of course, with a different business, possibly a landscaping business or hardscaping business, pool business, and they have a whole division, or they've dropped that completely and now just do pergolas. So it's really amazing. The outdoor living industry, I actually looked up some stats, and $3.3 billion globally. And the US is almost $1 billion, just shy of $1 billion of that entire industry. So there's plenty of opportunity. There's plenty of people that everybody's outside post-COVID. Everyone's outside. We all learned our lesson that, staying home can be fun. Let's go outside. Our tagline is experience life outside.
Can you guys also your ideal clientele?
Our ideal clientele, so we don't deal directly with homeowners or business owners. We use a dealer partnership system. So our ideal client is a dealer such as you folks, where you're very familiar and integrated in the outdoor living industry. You have a clientele, you are set up with installation capabilities and are able to market and advertise. And that's really, we'll show you all the rest. If you've got those particular pillars in place, you're good to go.
Very cool. Now, getting back to like you're talking about the outdoor industry just in overall, and we completely agree. We found it to be very, very steady and continuously growing, even when other, market segments are struggling just a little bit. What kind of trends do you see kind of moving forward with this outdoor living? I think you touched on some of them, kind of the technology and some other features from there, but what did other trends do you see going towards outdoor living, and what do you see Outdoor Elements doing in the next 5, maybe 10 years to catch some of those innovations and expansions?
I see it's really, I know we talked about technology, but we're talking, everyone wants everything in one spot. They want the smart home, well, they want the smart outdoor living, right? So maybe we're incorporating, I don't know if you want to shoot for the moon, but if you're incorporating like all the audio systems, some people have fountains with lights and sound and color, just all the things. If we can get all of our fun products together in one spot, I think that that's really technology of the future. Um, Also systems that here's everything's together, right? So standardized complete package systems. So here you're going to have a patio or a deck, and here's an entire package. Here's your kitchen. You're going to cover it with a pergola. Who wants to cook in the open air heat? Like here's your kitchen. Here's your pergola. Here's your furniture. Just the whole package. So I could see possibly more of a package deal. And oh, by the way, it's a smart system, right? So everything's integrated.
Very cool.
What do you?
Um,
What do you
yeah, I completely agree. I think that's kind of what the future looks like. Basically, you're doing everything you can do inside. All of the different features you have inside are just going to be commonplace on the outside.
Right. It's a smooth transition. It's that indoor outdoor living. People have the nice patio doors that open, and this is an extension of their home. These systems are an actual addition to your home. These are commercial grade. This is not something you're going to put up and take down in 5 years. We have over 15-year guarantee for on the products, 5 year on the electronics. Like these are, and everything's integrated. You're not going to put up this pergola and then set up everything underneath it, your kitchen, your living, and all of that, and then have to be replacing that. So it's really that smooth transition from inside to outside.
One question that actually came up in one of my last design and sales processes with a client was specifically about cooking underneath of it. And it was somebody that cooked and smoked meats often, multiple times a week. So they're going to have just smoke flowing. Could there be any potential issues with like the mechanics of the louvers with like grease, or even if it's one of the flat ceilings, like any kind of discoloration? Is that something that's come up or people have asked about, or stuff you've considered?
We haven't run into that. People do ask. We have people that put fire pits, underneath there. Um, we haven't run into anything to my knowledge. The systems are all aluminum. Even our solid roof system, it's wrapped in a thick aluminum. So everything should be just soap and water cleanable or simple green, kind of, cleaning. So, we haven't run into that as far as I know.
Is there a preferred distance to try to keep the grill away from, say, the height of the louvered roofs, or potentially like a fire pit? Is there like a height sister that you kind of coach folks like, hey, let's try to keep 5 feet, let's try to keep 6 feet, let's try to keep 4 feet or something? something to that.
Right, right. I don't have an exact number. I do know that most systems are 9.5 or 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
So the average of that, you're going to have a fire pit that's maybe 3 feet off the ground. So you've got a lot of space there, and it's durable, powder coated.
Very cool. Well, walk us through maybe one of the coolest projects that you've seen come to life, talking about all these, various things that you can put out there. Walk us through like one of the projects that you found to be very creative, solved customer problems, had some very neat, bells and whistles and some pretty cool individual pieces to it.
And I'm kind of new in the East Coast territory, so most of that is going to be like probably the coolest ones that we've done are out over in the West Coast right now.
Yeah, so yeah, walk us through one of those, like somebody that shot for the moon and just came up with something that was absolutely breathtaking. So what, let our listeners and viewers know what's possible with these types of pergolas.
I wish I had some pictures. Actually, our display at the IBS show was amazing.
Well, that's what caught our attention. Coffee was good too.
Exactly. I would say probably is for challenge wise, some of our commercial projects that have been rooftop restaurant projects. In fact, I am working on one in Atlanta, in downtown Atlanta, that's going to be amazing. It's a historic building that they've had to really reinforce and kind of do a lot of things to it to make it ready to accept the system. And they're putting a rooftop bar on, and they're going to have a large combination of solid roof and louvered systems there. It's been a challenge engineering wise, but we're almost to the end through that. It isn't up yet, but it's going to be amazing. They're going to have screens, they're going to have heaters, they're going to have all the lights. And you can imagine, downtown Atlanta, you look up and you see our multicolored lighting there. It's just it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. And it's a very cool, it's kind of a speakeasy kind of restaurant bar. So I think that is gonna be my crown jewel as soon as that one's done, if you will. We're working on some in Florida, a covered and louvered pickleball space, very large, like
That's a
commercial pickleball space. So that's a great idea. Oh, you know what? Another one that we did in California that was really neat was a winery. And they actually put together, this was a challenge, I guess. This is a good one. They've put together almost kind of pods of seating areas. And we used the louvers on the walls. And we had them actually open manually on the walls, so you can move the louvers to let in air. You can close them if it's chillier or you wanted some more privacy. But it was actually like a 3-sided pod, and then the 4th side are our glass doors that we just brought on and incorporated last year. So it's a frameless glass sliding door that's on a track system. So those are beautiful and really cool. And of course they have, the integrated lights and, whatever else that you'd want to have. But we worked at that winery. We had a dealer that knew the winery owners well. And we worked on that one. That was really unique.
very cool.
And of course, I'm pushing that. We have wineries all over the place in the East, right? So something to look at. I do tell my dealers, go to breweries. There's so many microbreweries out there and wineries now, and people just love to enjoy to sit outside in these beautiful settings, but unusable in the rain, So
For sure.
these systems really work for that kind of application.
Well, you're giving me tons of ideas. I spent a lot of time in Atlanta, so once that's like finished, if it is, I'd love to check.
Let's go.
And
Yes, you and I will go.
very cool.
Yeah.
like I said, we've been getting tons and tons of ideas on how we can start to incorporate this into our product lineup. We're brand new, having just met you guys at the IBS in Vegas. And this is going to be a big push for design builders in 2026. We're laying all the groundwork for it right now, learning the possibilities, trying to educate our customers on what's available, what's out there, and what they can really do. And I think this is a huge add-on to what we offer and what people can do in their backyards overall.
I'm so glad that, yeah, you see the vision, Jamie. I'm so glad that you do. Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us here today. I'm sure we'll have another chance to check in. Maybe we'll do a podcast in the future highlighting one of our most recent pergola installs, or maybe even another one of your crown jewels that pop up, so we can learn a little bit more about what you've been up to, what Outdoor Elements is up to, and we'll continue the conversation.
I would love that. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me today. It's been fun.
Well, that wraps us up with today's episode of the Design Builders Outdoor Buildcast. I'd like to thank Katie Dix for joining us. I'd like to thank Tim for being our host. Join us again next time to learn more about outdoor living.